Hello, America. How are you? Today, I want to talk about one of my favorite subjects. Now, we've all been driving around, and you're cruising down the old freeway doing 80, and you see a boot just laying there by the side of the road. You're past it in a split second, but for the next minute or so, you're like, is it weird that there's a single boot lying along the road on a freeway? There has to be a story as to why that boot found its way to the side of the road. And I'll bet you that every goddamn story is awesome. It's not, oh yeah, it accidentally fell off the roof of the car when we were on a cross country trip to Wally World. No, it wasn't. First, who the fuck straps shoes to the roof of a car? Nobody. Oh, it fell out the window while we were driving along. Yeah, who hangs a shoe out a window while, the family is driving down a freeway? Nobody. So it has to be a better story than that. And for the life of me, I can't think of one. I can't think of one situation that I ever found myself in where I was in danger of losing a shoe or boot along any sort of road. In fact, I would go so far as to say that for the entirety of my adulthood, no matter what mess I got myself into, the shoes and boots stayed on. Am I special that I was able to keep my shoes on the whole time? I mean, are you guys out there just shoes flying off every 2 days over something? Is that why women are buying shoes all the time? Because they've left one along the side of the road? No, I don't think so. Therefore, every time there is a boot by the side of the road, I'm damn sure there's a story worth telling there. Who among us will admit, hey, yeah, I admit I lost a boot by the side of the road. I was really fucking drunk and I forgot how to tie my shoes and I was running from myself. I was running from myself. It's a long story. I'm not proud of it, but it was, that was me. I was into Pearl Jam and Dave Matthews. I was wearing a lot of flannel, doing a lot of really weird drugs. People gave me a pill. It didn't matter what color it was, what shape it was, what it said on it. I was going to take it. And it was just another one of those days where I found myself running along the side of the road, being chased by myself. It's no big deal. So, yeah, a few shoes were lost. So, every time I see a shoe by the side of the road or boot, whether it be a freeway or local road, I still think there's a story, It doesn't matter where you lose it. It doesn't have to be a super highway for it to be an interesting story. And I just think that, somebody was probably drunk. I mean, that's probably what it boils down to in most stories. And that is always entertaining because people do the most entertaining stuff when they're drunk. And amazingly, we try to keep them from doing it. We, as their friends, are like, no, 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 don't jump off that water tower into an above ground swimming pool. Please, no, don't do that. No, let him. And somebody get a fucking video camera. I know it's the 80s, but somebody's got to have a video camera, right? Somebody? So the boot by the side of the road has always perplexed me because I'm just wondering, how does life go so wrong? Do you wake up one day, you're like, la, da, 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 da. You're in the shower, washing yourself, la, da, 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 da. You're brushing your teeth, getting yourself ready for work. You're buttoning up your shirt, zipping up your pants, putting on your socks and your shoes, one of which you will lose by the side of the road later that day. And what if it happens more than once? What if you, by the age of 35, have lost more than one shoe by the side of the road? And so, yes, the mystery of the lone boot by the side of the road continues to perplex me every time I see one. It's funny, I'll be driving down the road, let's say I've got to go to Chicago for the day and drop something off somewhere. About halfway through the trip, I'm in the middle of Indiana and I'm bored out of my fucking mind. I'm looking at grain silos and just empty flowing fields of nothingness. And there it will be. It'll be the lone shoe by the side of the road. And thank God that shoe is there, because that will occupy my mind until we get into the big city. Because for the rest of the trip, I'll be like, my God, what kind of shoe was that? It looked like kind of a hiking boot. Who the fuck would hike in such a flat area? Have you ever said, hey, let's go hiking in the flattest, most barren area possible? No trees whatsoever, no anything. Just it looks like torched earth. Except for this freeway over here, which we can walk along if we decide that we get tired of walking through open fields. Hey, how do you not lose a hiking boot in the fields where it might be muddy, it might be kind of, tough going maybe if it's a little swampy in parts. But then you go and you lose a boot on the freeway. You're walking along, and the next thing you know, boom, one of your boots is gone. What do you do? What happens to a person who loses a boot by the side of the road? Do they just keep walking? Where did they go from there? Did their journey end where that boot landed? These are all questions that are perplexing me as I complete my trip into the big bad city. At which point I completely forget about it and go on with my life until the next time I see a boot by the side of the road. And since I'm coming back the other direction, I won't see the original one. That's always a good thing. You don't want to see one that you've already seen before, because you've already thought that one to death. You got to see a different boot. So that's what I'm thinking every time I see a boot by the side of the road. Until next time.